probably not going to come as a surprise to a lot of you, but we're here in the Hillbilly Garage because we've got something we got to work on. And like I said, it's going to be no surprise to you guys. It's the kids' Polaris RZR 170. So they were out riding yesterday, and my wife went to bring it home because my kids kind of got tired, and she got it in gear and started driving. And you could just hear a grinding from what sounded like the transmission, and it was not wanting to shift fully into drive or reverse. So then of course we went to tow it home and we couldn't even get it to shift into neutral. Even going back here into the rear and trying to shift it back here by hand, it still wouldn't go. Because I thought, you know, off the bat, well, this shift linkage is stretched or something, I just need to adjust it, but even doing it by hand, it wouldn't go. So my thoughts are there's something actually bound up in the CVT, which was keeping too much pressure on the transmission, which isn't allowing it to shift fully. So that's at least where we're going to start before we tear into the transmission of this thing. Is pull these panels off, take a look in there at the CVT and see if something isn't hung up in there. And I got my little helper with me today, huh? Alright, before we get too crazy here, I did do an adjustment on our shift cables because there was quite a bit of slack in there. So before we tear into this, let's check and see if all it was just simply we had too much slack in our shifter. So I got the battery hooked up here. We'll start her up and see if we can get it to shift into gear without grinding. So it seems like we don't have neutral. You have forward and reverse, but no longer have a neutral. So that tells me CVT seems to be fine besides being a little dirty. So there's something actually in the transmission with the gears, whether it's the shift fork or something, that is screwed up. Alright, thanks to my little buddy's help here, I had torn shift while I looked at the shift linkage back here. And we found the problem, didn't we? Torin, what's wrong with it?
The bolt was missing.
We are missing a bolt. Let me see if I can get you guys in here to see. You see right there is where the shift cables actually connect to the shifter. You see that hole right there in the middle? There should be a bolt in there. There isn't, so that plastic piece around it is actually just kind of free spinning, keeping it from going into gear. So I don't know, it doesn't look like that plastic piece is stripped, but there should be a bolt right in there with a washer that holds that on there. Because that's there, Torin, can you go up and try to shift it a little bit, please?
Try to go for it, but it won't.
Just wiggle it, whichever way, whichever's loose. Keep wiggling it back and forth fast. So you can see there, hopefully guys, how there's a lot of movement on that plastic piece around the shift knob there. I think it's causing our problems. I don't know if I have a bolt that'll work. We'll find out, but I may just go ahead and go online and order the actual piece. And we may actually need to replace that plastic piece too in case it's wore from trying to shift it without having that nut on there, but we'll see. All right, let's see if she'll shift into neutral now, or are we gonna have to replace that plastic piece? That's still showing reverse. Forward, that should be neutral. And I think so, probably gonna have to pull the transmission apart, take a look at things. I don't know if maybe did something to the shift fork or something. Shifting into forward and reverse fine, but we still don't have neutral. And that, I bet you that plastic piece is just wore enough that it's not gripping until it gets on to where it wants to go into neutral. I bet, Tortor. You think? So, I guess it'd probably be safe just to go ahead and order that plastic piece anyway, huh? So we'll order that plastic piece for the shift and see if that works. Well, it has taken absolutely forever, but we finally got the part for the kid's little razor. And I'm a little worried now that I got it because I thought it was plastic, but this puppy is metal. So it means this one is probably metal. So it might be something other than what I was thinking, but we're gonna pull that one off anyway, take a look. We'll pull the wheel off, it'll make it a little easier to get at stuff, I think. Pull that off, we'll see if we can actually find neutral by hand with a pair of pliers. And if we can, then it must be that the shift linkage is just stripped. If we can't, then it's probably something in the transmission. And we may just not worry about it as long as we can go into forward and reverse fine. Well, guys, unfortunately, I just tried adjusting the shift linkage by hand as it was running to see if I could find neutral. I still couldn't. It was either in forward or partially in reverse or fully in reverse. There was no neutral, so it must be something in the actual transmission itself. Winter's almost here. I'm probably not going to worry about it right now. The kids aren't going to be riding it much longer. I'll put everything back together, see if I can adjust it to go full forward and full reverse and not be in the middle somewhere. For time being, they don't need neutral anyway, come on. But that's where we're at with this guy. I'm still going to install this guy since it's new and I have it, might as well. I'll put everything back together and see if I can adjust it to at least be rideable for the kids. But I don't know, maybe we'll use this for a project then sometime next year. Maybe stick a different power plant in there. That'd be cool to make this thing four-wheel drive too. Anyway, comment your suggestions down below. What we should do with this guy. Should we just dig into the transmission and fix it up this winter sometime? Or do something completely new and outrageous with it for the kiddos? Let me know in the comments below. Well, shouldn't have to worry about that bolt coming out anymore because I kind of broke the bolt. So I just kind of tack welded her on there for time being. That shouldn't go anywhere now. Probably could have just done that with the old one to begin with, but oh well. Let's get this puppy back together.
Later.
Alright, I got everything back together. Let's see how well this guy can go into gear. Neutral. Nope, go reverse. Well, we got forward and reverse anyway, so the kids can still ride it till the snow starts flying, and then sometime this winter we can dig into the transmission. It almost seems to me like the neutral gear or something's off. I don't know if the kids were like between gear and kept running it, not knowing that it was bad to hear that grinding, and it did something in there. We'll figure that out sometime this winter, early spring. We'll take it on another project and separate the transmission and look into that. If we deem it worthy, otherwise we might just go get the kids a new RZR 200. But anyway, like I said, it's running good enough they can keep riding till the snow starts flying. So hopefully that'll be good enough for them. And it's good enough for me. Because I got another project coming up. I don't know if you guys remember that 135 horsepower street bike motor I have out there. Well, this winter we're throwing that puppy in something. We're going to see if it runs. So, just a quick little video. Didn't get a whole lot accomplished, but hey, that happens sometimes with projects. And if you have kids, you know your kid's project always takes precedent over any other project you have. So, they'll be happy they can at least ride this till the snow flies. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please try to keep your negative Polaris comments to a bare minimum. I know that's awful hard to do. It's awful hard for me to do, but remember this is a kid's buggy, so to a minimum. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on riding.